Hello, everybody, and I'd like to welcome you back to the Get Outdoors with Hook Outdoors podcast. I'm your host, Dan Hook, and this is the week of August the 20th. Today's a big day for us. This is our first interview style podcast we're putting up here, and our first guest today is Evan Barker. Evan is a 17-year-old high school senior. He's on the local bass fishing team. He was the 2020 Fishers of Men State High School Bass Tournament champion and was a double qualifier for the high school national tournament in La Crosse, Wisconsin. Evan is the son of a friend of mine that I graduated high school with, not to age myself, but, that puts me kind of a way back there. So here we go. Evan, just tell us a little bit about you. What have you got going on right now with all this COVID stuff? How does all this work and everything?
We've been off the tournament trail since about March. I fished a high school tournament back in March 7th on Laurel Lake, and that was actually the last tournament I fished until we went up to Wisconsin back in June. And I still got plenty of fishing in with school being out and all online and stuff. I'd make my way to the lake every once in a while, and I'd go out there and I'd catch fish and stay sharp and all that. But it was a long break in between tournaments, which is something I'm not really used to. But it's fun. High school fishing is really amazing. We travel all over the state, and these past months we went up to La Crosse, Wisconsin, fishing the high school national championship, and that was definitely a fun experience fishing against. We had 325 boats around in that ballpark, and it was just a great experience fishing against all those guys. And another cool thing about it was even just the hotel we'd stay at. We'd be out there rigging tackle every night before the tournament, and we'd be talking to guys from Minnesota, and there was guys next to us from Oklahoma. We get to see those guys that get to fish like Grand Lake every single day, and it's just great fisheries like that. And you got people that fish Champlain from Minnesota, so it was just a really great experience getting to see how those guys process fishing the same way. They fish the same way we do. Just got a passion for it, but they just fish different lakes all over the country. So it's good to see those guys and talk to them and kind of see how they do it. But yeah, it was a great experience.
Cool. And so how long have you actually been fishing bass tournaments, even on a local level?
I fished my first tournament, I think, when I was 11 or 12 years old. It was a USA Bassin event,
awesome.
Night tournament. And here's a funny story about it. It was the first tournament I ever fished. It was a night tournament, USA Bassin event. And, we was fishing. It was about 10, 11 o'clock, middle of the night, couldn't see anything. And all just out of nowhere, just a massive storm came out and hit out of nowhere. And we was running back from, I think we was in Big Cave Run at the time fishing. And we was running from Big Cave to, it got so bad that we had to run into Scotts Creek Marina and get under a marina slip.
I've been there.
But it was raining so hard, and we was running, 65 mile an hour down the lake.
Yeah.
It was rough. So I spent my first tournament. I spent about 2 hours under a marina slip getting out of a storm. So.
Yeah, man. How long has you're a high school angler? They have a local team here, and a lot of counties do anymore. How long has the fishing team's been established at the high school level here?
In Round County, we established our team in the fall of 2018, best I remember. Okay. But we fished our first tournament in April of 2019. Yeah,
cool.
Montgomery County, they host open tournaments for all the local teams. Bath County, Montgomery County, Powell, Round, and all of us. I mean, it's a fun little deal. You get together with all your buddies and fish a high school tournament, and there's usually 20, 25, 30 boats in it, so it's a good experience.
Now, are you guys, is it viewed more as like a club deal? I mean, you guys don't fall under the KHSAA?
We do. We are under KHSAA.
Really?
We have a KHSAA sanctioned regional every year. Cool. It's usually the last weekend in April, and there's 4 regions. They separate it out into 4 regions, the same like they do basketball. And Round County, we're in Region 4 right here on Cave Run Lake. And I think they do a regional on Barkley Lake, one on Cumberland, the one on Cave Run, but best I remember, they do one on Green River Lake. So we're spread out all over the state, but then they take the top. It's usually around the top 20 to 25 every year out of each region, and then they put us on Kentucky Lake in May to fish the KHSA state championship.
Now, how do you guys like structure like team meetings and practices? Is there like set times, set days of the week that you guys have to be on the water, or is it just kind of you're just on your own and you just kind of have to keep a log of when you're fishing and that kind of thing?
This year in 2020, it's been a little bit different with all the COVID guidelines and all that stuff. We didn't get to practice all that much. Where all the tournaments, high school tournaments especially, were shut down from about the end of March all the way through almost June. So, like last year, per se, in 2019, we got to fish. We usually have a practice about every evening, not every evening, but usually about, I'd say 2 to 3 evenings a week after school. We we get out of school, we go to the house, whatever, get a bite to eat, and you'd meet back at, we have a group text with the coach, and he'd say, be at Stony Cove Boat Ramp at 4:30, and we'll separate out and we'll just go fishing. We'd have little friendly competitions, nothing too serious, but we just kind of do it for bragging rights. It was really fun. But this year it's been a little different with all the COVID guidelines and all that, so we haven't really got to do much with it. But it was still fun going up to Wisconsin with the team. So we still got to do a little bit of it with the team this year.
Now it's co-ed. Am I right in that?
Yes.
Is it co-ed?
We actually had 3 girls, I think, on the high school team this year.
Awesome.
Yeah, we brought all 3 of them up to La Crosse, Wisconsin too. So
wow. Good deal. Good deal. So what's the total team members? What's your head count there?
This year with new members, I'm going to say we lost a lot of seniors this year. So I think we lost around 6-7 seniors this year. And I'd say starting this fall, we'll have around 10 on the team, I would say.
Right.
We started out with 18, but it's when we started in 2018, and it's like any other sport. You're gonna have kids who sign up that just not really interested. But they try it out, so that's always good. They try it out, but they just find they're really not interested in it. Sure. So we dropped down to about 12 or so this year, but with new members, I'd say we'll be right around the 10 to 12 mark.
So how does that work boat wise? I mean, I know you have to have at least one adult and 2 anglers. Is it typically a parent of one of the team members that has the boat, and then they have a partner, or
on our team we've got, best I remember, 3. We've got 3 parents that are boat captains. But all the other boats are just volunteers around the community. Guys that fish tournaments around here, Clay Johnson, all those guys, they were a big help with us last year.
Right.
In 2020, we haven't really got to do that because COVID.
Yeah, sure.
Don't really want to get all the kids in with adults and stuff like that. Risk spreading the virus.
Right.
We haven't really got to do that, but last year we had a lot of people volunteer to be boat captains.
Sure.
That was a really good experience.
I remember when they had the spring tournament over here at Stony Cove, they had 94, 97 boats, something like that.
There was 93 boats in it.
That place was packed because you have your anglers, but then you have parents and extended family because everybody wants to. It's just like any other high school sport. All the family members want to see how their relative or their child or whatever is doing. So it draws a pretty good crowd to weigh-ins and all that kind of stuff, I guess.
The cool thing about it is it's through KHSA. The tournament you're talking about is through KHSA, but FLW and SAF, the federation, they actually help KHSA and supply FLW trailers to weigh in on.
See, that was a question I had. Where you're sanctioned under the KHSAA and so forth and so on. Where does the financial support? I mean, do you all depend mostly on donations and volunteers, or does the school system give you a little bit of money?
We have sponsors there. We have really good sponsors like Moorhead Tourism, like Whitaker Bank, all the banks and stuff. They supply a lot of money, and Advanced Disposal. They were a good sponsor this year. Gave us a lot of money, and we rely mainly on sponsors, and we usually do bingos, usually 2 a year, I think. Sure. And that's usually around, I think, $1,000 to $1,200 in that ballpark. So that really helps cover travel expenses and all that.
Right. Right. Now, how does like the I guess, does the playoff system work like any other high school sport? Do you have like a district level, or do you guys go straight to like a regional and then a state deal?
We don't have districts, but it's just we fish one regional tournament,
Right.
and then they take the top. It's usually around, like I said earlier, the 20 to 25 mark, the top 25 boats, and they send them on to the state championship on Kentucky.
Sure. And what's fascinating is you see a lot of these younger pro anglers now that are past college champions, like that. I guess that Jay Lee.
Yeah, Jordan Lee.
Yeah, Jordan Lee. Yeah, and wasn't he like a back-to-back classic champion or something like that?
2017.
Yeah, and I mean, and basically fresh out of college, just a kid.
Yeah, he's young.
Yeah, that's amazing.
These organizations like Bass and FLW, they paved the way all the way up to the highest level from your high school fishing level all the way up through college.
Right.
BFLs, Bass Opens. You can really work your way up through the system and get on to your dreams.
It gives you a
level.
Versus compared to when I was, at the high school age and fishing, when, they didn't even want any youngsters in tournaments, and now it's kind of encouraged, and there's a avenue, a pathway, if you will, that if you have a goal as a teenager that you want to be a professional angler, there's a pathway. I mean, you can go. You can fish these high school levels, and if you're good enough, you can get a scholarship if a school offers that, and you can chart a path that really. That there's really no limit to what you can do. I mean, you can be
pave a way for it.
You can be a champion in that sport, just like some kid growing up here in Moorhead can be pretty decent at basketball and play at UK and then go on to the NBA. Yeah. So it's the same deal.
It's grown so much over the past few years too. Just getting all the sponsors and there's media time like that tournament we were up in La Crosse, Wisconsin. It was filmed for the Pursuit channel, which is
that's great.
A major channel.
That's great, man. That's great. And what do you like? We were talking about the effects of the virus, and it's really, I guess, hindered you all as far as being able to practice and do some things. Now that the KHSAA has ruled that fall sports can start practicing and stuff, have you guys heard anything about where you guys stand as far as like what you guys are going to be allowed to do?
Well, we're going to have a really busy fall here at Round County on fishing tournaments, and we don't have anything through KHSAA in the fall. It's all in spring. It's actually on the list that bass fishing is a spring sport through KHSAA.
Oh, okay.
But we're fishing a Bassmaster High School Open on Cumberland, October 4th, I do believe. Yeah, October 4th, and then the weekend after that, we're going to be right back down on Cumberland.
So that's just an open tournament to anyone of high school age that can sign up?
Yeah, any high school bass fishing member that has a Bassmaster membership can fish that.
So if you're on a high school team and you're a member of Bass, then you can fish that tournament.
Yep, it's open game.
Well, how since you guys, I guess, are classified as amateurs, how does the prizes work? Do you get scholarships? Do you get rods and reels?
It's usually all scholarships.
Yeah.
But they do prizes like rods and reels.
Yeah.
Like Bass, some of their big sponsors, they'll give like certain rods and reels to give out. First through fifth, say gets a Abu Garcia combo.
Oh yeah.
And it's just stuff like that. You're technically not allowed to give money out where we're high school
kids,
but we can get rods and reels, baits. We were up in Wisconsin, and if every day they would do a prize. Like if you had a fish and you weighed in, you would get either a Berkeley bait or spools of Seagar line. I mean, they gave out a lot of free stuff, and I mean that's just all through sponsorship.
Okay, good.
They're a huge help for the high school fishing industry.
So going forward, and things kind of get straightened back out as far as what you're going to pursue. What are your plans, once you wrap up your high school career? Is that kind of in your wheelhouse as far as you're going to pursue, maybe go to a school that offers you a scholarship and try to build on your fishing career and so forth?
Yeah, absolutely. Right now I'm actually talking to one of the top 10 teams in the nation in college fishing. It's Carson Newman University.
Good
down
deal.
in Jefferson City, Tennessee.
Good deal.
Sometime in the next few months, I'll definitely be taking a visit down there and meeting with their coach, Hunter Sales. They're a really new program, and they were just formed, I think, 2 years ago.
Yeah.
So in this incoming season, their oldest kid on the team is going to be a junior. Like it's all younger kids, freshmen, sophomores, juniors.
Now, Carson Newman, where's that? What's that close? Is that on the east end, like around all the TVA lakes and stuff?
It's nestled right there in Jefferson City, Tennessee, right in between Cherokee and Douglas Lake. So on campus, when I pull my boat down there, I could be within 20 minutes. I could be fishing for big smallmouth on Cherokee, or I could go down there and fish for big largemouth.
Gosh, I'd have a hard time staying in class, man.
I know.
I'd have a hard time staying in class. Well, all right, man. This has just been awesome finding all this out. Well, now let's, it is Free Tackle Friday here at Hook Outdoors. And what we do, we'll talk about a product that we happen to sell here. And, if you give us a like or a listen or a share or whatever, just let us know that you're out there. We'll go through and look at the names, and we'll pick a name out, and you can win, $20 in cash. If you just want $20, or if you want to come by and get $20 in merchandise or whatever, you can just swing by. And Evan, what do you have there? What are a couple of your go-to lures there?
I actually brought in 2 topwater baits. I brought in a Strike King Sexy Dog and a Strike King Sexy Dog Junior, and those are by far 2 of my go-to topwater baits.
Okay.
When I'm fishing anywhere from late April for post-spawn bass to all the way into October and November when they're on that fall transition, schooling on bait in the backs of the creek. Okay. I've actually brought in a bait right here. It's an oyster pattern Strike King Sexy Dog, and this bait actually helped me win the 2020 Fishers of Men.
Oh,
this bait right here. You can see all the Daniel here. He can see all the tooth marks on it from all the smallmouth data. Yeah. It's definitely one of my go-tos. You've got 2 different sizes. You've got the junior and you've got the regular sized Sexy Dog, and that kind of depends on the fishery that I'm on, whether I'm on Cave Run or whether I'm on a lake more notorious for big bass like Cumberland, Dale Hollow, Kentucky Lake.
Right.
It just depends on which size I'm going to fish. And I've got 2 different patterns here. I've really got my 2 go-tos. I've got oyster, which it's almost like a bone color.
Right. That's what I was thinking when I saw that. Yeah.
With a more metallic coat to it.
Right.
And then I've got a chrome Sexy Shad here.
Sure.
Which really that's honestly the only 2 topwaters a person needs, in my opinion, when it comes to that type of deal. When you're targeting or when you're wanting to imitate shad, I'll fish the bone or the oyster when it's cloudy, and I'll fish the chrome when it's sunny. I mean, it's just, I try to keep it simple.
That's what I was going. That was kind of my next question. Of those 2 lures you got there, what conditions are you looking for when you're looking to throw those? That was a big thing.
It's like, say I'm on Lake Cumberland, and I try to keep an eye out for the bait size.
Sure.
Like if I'm going down a bank and I see a bunch of like big gizzard shad, you're 3, 4 up to 10-inch long gizzard shad. If I see a bunch of those, I'll be fishing that bigger model. That normal size Sexy Dog. But if I'm down here on Cave Run, and like just yesterday, I was down here fishing that Sexy Dog Junior, and I was going down a bank and I seen that all the bait was 2 to 3 inches long, small.
Sure.
Well, really 1 to 3 inches long, small gizzard shad. So I made that choice to pick up the smaller Sexy Dog Junior, and I ended up catching a few fish on it like that.
What kind of rod? What's your setup going to be whenever you're throwing that?
On a topwater, I fish ducket rods and lose reels. I fish a 6.6 medium ducket Terex with a 7.5 to 1 lose LFS. Bait casting rod or reel. I keep it on 10-pound monofilament.
Right.
I always fish monofilament on top waters. Just keep that bait on top of the water.
Right.
Make it work a lot easier. And I'll fish that shorter rod. That way, when I'm in the front of the boat, walking the dog with that Sexy Dog, my rod's not always hitting the side of the boat or hitting the water. Like say if you were fishing a 7'3" to 7'6" rod, and you're walking the dog with that rod, it would always be hitting the water or hitting the side of the boat. But with that shorter rod, I can keep it more balanced too, and it's just it's easier on me to fish the bait more efficiently.
Good deal. Good deal. Well, Evan, that about wraps everything up for today. I sure appreciate you coming by.
I appreciate the invite,
and everything. Got a lot of knowledge thrown out here today, folks. A lot of good stuff going on here. A lot of good stuff going on at the high school level. My hope is that this virus thing gets itself wrapped up and things get reasonably back to normal, so these kids can get out here and get back to doing what they love. And some kids, they love this fishing, they love all this outdoor stuff, and it's just what I'd like to see happen. And again, if your local high school has a fishing team or what have you, they're always looking for donations. That's kind of how they survive and how they get to these tournaments, and they can sponsor these kids to fish. So if there's something like that in your area, just be sure you donate to them. And again, I just want to thank Evan Barker for coming by and sitting down with us for a few minutes. And as always, just get outdoors with Hook Outdoors.